Yeah, were you doing videography and photography at that time?
So I've been doing photo and video work since like I probably got my first DSLR around like 2012.
Cool.
I'd want to say somewhere in that range, and I've been kind of doing it like not necessarily professionally the whole time. I really started to take the photo and video work professionally. I'd say probably about 3 years ago.
Cool.
Especially when I started I worked for a newspaper for like 2.5 years or something like that, and so I'd get on a lot of shoots like that, and that's how I made a lot of my connections that kind of pushed me further into the music industry.
Right on.
The way that I started working for the newspaper was I was talking with my friend, and she was telling me about all these concerts that she was going to this week, and I was just wondering, how are you possibly affording all of these? Like you just go to like 4 concerts every week, like that's just who you are? And she's like, oh no, I write for the newspaper. And I'm like, haha, do you guys need a photographer? And she said, yeah, sure, this is the person that you would email. And then so I went in there and like I told them, I was like, I want to shoot concerts, like I just want to do it, like I think that would be so cool to. And I remember back then, like I remember the first concert I shot was Japan Droids at the 40 Watt, and I remember going in.
That's a sick venue.
Yeah, it's got a lot of history to it. You can see like the Kurt Cobain signature in the back.
Oh, holy cow.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Kurt, right there.
Kurt,
yeah.
Oh boy. And so
Where's 40 Watt at? I'm sorry.
it's in downtown Athens.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
It's
Very
a
cool.
lot of history in that venue. But I remember going in and getting my press pass for the first time, being like, oh my god, they let me in with the camera. And then now it's like, all right, like I'm gonna leave my camera gear here. I'm gonna go get a coffee, come back, and then I'll start setting up the angles and stuff like that. It's funny. And then so through shooting concerts and stuff like that, then that's how I started to get plugged in to more people that film concerts and things of that nature. And so I've been doing that professionally for at least a few years now.
No, so when you film a concert, what's kind of your methodology? I'm guessing that you don't just walk around with the camera and upload that to whatever platform you're uploading it to.
Absolutely, yeah.
You think about lights, you think about pre-production. I'm assuming you do a lot of post as well.
Yeah. So the main thing that you have to do when you film a concert is, well, first and foremost, you need to make sure that audio is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to botch the audio.
100.
It's half the production.
Same for podcasts.
Yeah. So I definitely like having like a dedicated audio person to be able to handle that.
Right on.
So then I can just focus on making it look pretty. That's a lot easier for me. So that's like an optimal shoot. But
so you're not taking just straight up soundboard, plugging that to video like
we do that too.
Right on.
Hopefully get multi-track or something like
Hell
that.
yeah.
Just plug like a Zoom H4 for anyone that knows what that is. Like
Absolutely.
plug that in the audio board.
This is a Zoom L8 that we're working on right now.
I love Zoom. They make great stuff.
Great shit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Love it. So
great stuff.
got to make sure you get the audio taken care of, and then I try and set up at least 3 camera angles, and then I think the most camera angles we've done on a shoot is probably like up to like upwards of like 10, but at least 3 so you can have like so it's not just back and forth with one angle.
Right on.
That's the goal. And then the way that I picture it is I try and pretend that I'm like if you've been to like a large music festival and they have the big screens up there and they're like doing the zoom ins and outs and like the pan, and like they'll do like a pan with like a zoom, and I try and pull off like things like that, and then just kind of you can like pass it around. So like let's say like I'm filming the drummer,
Mm-hmm.
and then like then I switch to the camera that I'm hand holding and moving, and then I'll do like a zoom out, and then like maybe I'll end up on like a keyboard player or something like that I can cut to the keyboard player's angle. So you're kind of like guiding like the way that people are watching the concert.
Yeah.
And so it's not a whole lot of storytelling you can do with just recording a concert, because it's a concert, it's music, but try and do something like that so there's a little bit of motion to it, and then just make it look as cool and make the band look as badass as possible, and like that's really the name of the game.
So when you're in the crowd, and you said you have a free camera too,
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing this, so when you're doing that free camera work, are you kind of like, when you're looking at the band, are you thinking of the post production as you're like, all right, cool, so I'm panning across on my camera right now, this would be a sick shot to pan to this player right now, they're killing on the guitar or whatever instrument?
Yeah. Something like that. I would like, especially if it's like a studio shoot and I have like headphones on and I can listen to exactly what's going on, then I'll try and do my best to think like, okay, I know, like I've heard this song before, I know that the guitar player is about to throw down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll like think about like, okay, if I should start out wide right here and then zoom into the guitar player because I know he's about to, like do a solo or something like that.
Right.
And so I try and anticipate things like that. But honestly, it's just a matter of like, doing your best to make sure everything's steady and in frame and all that. And then the best part is once you can get home and you can start playing with the colors and stuff like that. And then once you get once you've initially sync the audio to the video,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, all right, let's see, like,
It's
let's
off to the race.